That's the message from the president yesterday.
I mean, sorry, my voice might sound a little wonky. I'm a little under the weather. So
Okay.
uh, it's a message of hope, yes. But I normally say that hope is a good breakfast, but a very bad supper. Yes, we can't keep hope is important. Don't get me wrong, but we can't keep giving people hope without action. What is going to be action? Action is going to be giving people palliatives for all of these economic challenges they are facing with the removal of subsidy. Now that we're not even sure of the price, I bought fuel yesterday for 92, and this morning I was reading the paper that once oil markets are starting to lift, the price might go up to six something because now we've subjected fuel to international conditions. And recently, when you look at things, fuel rallies, the price increased again because of uncertainty in Russia. But anyway, I think it's going to go down because of the Prigozhin effect. You get.
Yeah.
So Nigerians are thrusted into a lot of uncertainty. You can't keep saying hope for a better day. We want to see the workings of your hope. I don't know if you get me.
Mm.
Actual hope will be, yes, life is going to be better for Nigeria, things are going to get better. Then you now support it and tell us, this is how I plan to make my hope materialize. You don't just give people hope in thin air. Nigerians want to see palliatives. They want to see things that ease the pain they are going through. They want to see things that will make them feel and realize that, yes, you are not going through this alone and life can be a whole lot better on the other side. So, because Nigerians are really suffering, it's a very, this is one of the first gala in a while. Yeah, some people still celebrate it, but it really hurt a lot of people because they couldn't celebrate. People that traditionally would be able to, kill ram or something, they just couldn't afford it. Family circumstances are not going better. Things have just been bad for them in the course of the year. And all of this is because of the state of our economy. So, yes, we should hope things will get better. We should hope insecurity will improve. But hope is a good breakfast for the bad supper. Because after, yes, breakfast time finishes, when now hope people will talk. No. So they should back hope with action. That's just what we want to advise them. And they should do well for the poor people. Many people are suffering too much.
Yeah.
People are suffering too much. A lot of people couldn't go out to visit yesterday. Some people could, but a lot of people could not go out to visit.
Yeah.
They're very much empty. So let's do better for ourselves. Let the government, let the people feel the impact of the government.
Let the poor breathe. I think the president already summarized everything. Like he has seen the future, but he said, "Let the poor breathe." So
Yeah.
let the poor breathe. That's the message for the president also. I know you already talked about what marketers are saying that in the north the fuel might sell for 700 naira come July, but Lagos 600, 630 if it's an open market from next month if they import the fuel by themselves. That's another uncertainty that many of us are scared of. We hope it's not true. We really hope that it does not happen by next month what is in the papers, and I think you've addressed it. Now, another issue. Okay,
NNPC no longer fixes the price, though.
so
It is the
so
market
so this
price.
this might happen. Do you? This will not just be news. You think it will happen?
It's, come on. This four something we are buying now, four something 500 should we fix the price, not the marketer. Didn't NNPC first lie and say, oh, we have enough in stock, don't worry, don't panic buy and all of that. But 2 days after, NNPC now brought out a ban to align with what the marketers were saying. You see how we deceive ourselves. So now that's what you call free market economy. And you see, opponents of free market, they forget that those things don't work in Nigeria. For all of those that keep making the idea, oh, once we get this, once we get that, price will reduce and everything. Have you seen price go up and reduce in Nigeria? Have you seen price go up and reduce in Nigeria? Since we started producing cement in abundance, why did the price of cement go down in Nigeria?
Mhm.
So keep deceiving ourselves.
Mhm.
Well, with us.
It is. It is. Now to another story here. I think let's move to Daily Trust. This Galadima. He says that INEC chairman worse than Emefiele should be fired. Yesterday when he was talking at a television interview. He said that that the sins of Emefiele cannot be compared to that of INEC chairman. In fact, he was appealing to the president to fire the INEC chairman because of the election that was conducted.
But we all know that that we know, because if you fire the INEC chairman, then it will invalidate the election that brought in the president, which is even. So we know what's going on. We know what's going on. But for the sake of accountability, INEC that keeps saying he wants to do a review, we would like to really see that review of the election, and a honest review. If you are found wanting, then you should face the music. A honest review. So maybe someday soon, but I doubt it's going to be in this administration. Maybe someday soon, the truth will come out about what really happened. Because but I doubt it's going to be in this administration. Let's not deceive ourselves. Because you see, the level of sycophancy is too much in Nigeria that once the president comes in, everybody tries to align with the president and see what they can grab from him. But life shouldn't be like that. So I doubt this is going to happen in this administration, because if it happens, then it will be that. So what were the elections that brought in the incumbent president? But the truth will come out someday in this country, and that's why people should be careful, and we'll see for ourselves. This wouldn't last forever. I know that for sure.
Yeah, great. Thank God you're here. Most times after we have our conversation in the morning, we usually go for another engagement. You don't get to respond to some of the callers and the messages that we get. Now, someone on YouTube just said something. I'd like you to respond to it. And for every other person that want to know your stance on this, he said Rufai is really not a supporter of subsidy removal. He should stop speaking with both sides of the mouth. So I know you have clarified severally your stand on subsidy removal, but I just want you to say it out loud again.
So people like that, Mary, you see, that's part of the problem we have in the country. People are not intellectually sound enough to have a nuanced debate. You know what a nuanced debate is? A nuanced debate means that you have an opinion on something, but you also have other opinions around that opinion. That's what a nuanced debate is. But so many people are not, intellectually developed enough. The argument of subsidy removal, I support it because it cuts the waste and everything. But all I've always argued for is that you can't remove subsidy without doing some things. And let me explain it this way. You can't fight high blood pressure without losing weight and without exercising. So no matter how much BP drugs you take, if you're not exercising, moving the heart, all right, then nothing will be done, because you will just be taking BP drugs that will momentarily bring down your blood pressure. And in the end, it will kill you. All right? So what are the things I felt they could have done before they removed subsidy? At first, have a forensic evaluation of NNPC. Even know how much was stolen from this subsidy regime. And it has been done before. Before President Goodluck Jonathan, it was it in the last administration, finally removed subsidy, there were steps taken. What were the steps? Part of the step was that Ijeoma Egwuatu commission set up to even ascertain how much was stolen in subsidy. That was when we now discovered that some people were carrying barrels and barrels of crude oil. They were carrying empty vessels in, and they were claiming it was crude oil, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when Ijeoma Egwuatu submitted his resolution, then the government took it and now said, okay, NNPC should now be sole importer as a prelude to subsidy removal. And then President Goodluck Jonathan gave ample time for debate. In fact, I remember one moderated by President Duka Bagban of Arise TV, that Sanusi and Labour and everybody. Sanusi was Lamine Sanusi was CBN governor then.
Yeah.
And afterwards, then they announced palliative prior to the subsidy or immediately after they pulled out. But they have planned it out. A lot of people forget that part of the palliative were things we call SHOPI, Subsidy Reinvestment Program. That was led, by great statesman, Christopher Kolade, journalist and former High Commissioner to the UK. and you had subsidy reinvestment program. Some people got Shopee grants. So those are the kind of things we are talking about. So I just needed to explain this for the sake of people that don't have the intellectual breadth to understand nuanced conversation. So that's all I'm saying. I'm a proponent of subsidy, but you see, because they are not detailed intellectually. When I say, oh, you can't remove something without putting palliative, in their head it interprets that, oh, Rufai does not support subsidy removal. No, I have always supported it. But you can't do something without getting something done. So I have just given you a structure of how it was done in the past. Before marketers were stopped from bringing this in, because the regime before was that marketers will bring it in and they will now go to government and say, okay, we brought X and they will pay them for what they brought in. But a lot of them were gaming the system. So they set up the Ijeoma committee that looked at it, brought out the fraud. A lot of people forget that it was even around that period of those investigations. We had the Farouk Lawan case that went to also collect bribe from Femi Otedola. You remember that case? So another thing is that Nigerians have very shallow, we have very nuanced memory. Let me use that word. Or selective amnesia. We forget so soon in a hurry. So these are the things I'm just saying we should do before we pull ourselves. Because take, for instance, I would love to see a forensic audit of the NMPC. Then lay out what your palliatives are. Then Nigerians will be able to grow around it and ensure there's economic growth. And you pull out subsidy and the market take effect. But also mind you, when you pull out subsidy, when you see the harmful effect, the most deregulated economies, the one like America, they still create buffers for the people. I've talked about strategic national reserve from time to time that America releases when the price in the national market goes up because they don't want their citizens to suffer. So take, for instance, when we say we pulled out the subsidy on diesel in 2010, 2011, we were still subsidizing diesel to be able to buffer the effect. Only recently, we say we removed subsidy on aviation. When aviation fuel price went up, didn't the CBN say they were going to give some marketers some aviation fuel at a reduced amount? So you still have to come to time to create buffers.
Yeah.
So these are the arguments. But a lot of people, they are not intellectually sound enough to be able to understand that you can have 3-4 different arguments. That's why Ijeoma used the word nuance. All they just know is, he talk against subsidy, finish. But there are other explanations that surround something. That's what they call the nuanced conversation. So I hope that listener that asked that question, I hope he's able to understand it the way I've explained it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you broke it down for everybody that wanted to know your take on it. I think this is it. You've explained it and you broke it down. Thank you for that. Now to another story here. This is the drama yesterday at the Senate ex-spokesperson Adeleke supporters. They clashed at the Eid ground. It was drama yesterday because of sitting arrangement at the Oshogbo Central Eid praying ground. It was, I don't know if you saw it, if you've read about it. It was drama. You wonder what will cause this kind of drama because of a sitting arrangement for the governor. At the point, some people were even calling ole ole ole. It was really rowdy. And they're asking, is the governor not a Christian? What was he doing there?
At first, at least, I think going forward, in the house of God, nobody should be given a preferential seat over another person. It's the house of God. Let us respect God. You see this thing we do with position, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. In the end, God is the supreme being. And we can't, because of that, be causing disruption and fight in the house of God. Shame on both parties yesterday. Shame on both parties that went to a solemn occasion of prayer and turned it into a match of brickbats. I don't want to know what happened. I said both parties should take the blame. Both Senator Basiru, both the governor should take the blame. And you see, I'm an objective person. I don't care if I was dancing with the governor a day before and he went viral. I'm a man of the truth. I say it the way it is. Both parties must take the blame. Secondly, there were allegations and counter allegations. Somebody said us they got there first, and there was a protocol and all of that to sit down and all of that. Then the governor side said it was an assassination attempt. That when they got there, they saw some people carrying guns with 3 buses. They had circled the place. They had to pull the governor out. Whatever happened or did not happen, all of this is all political. But I think it's a desecration of the house of God and a prayer ground for you to bring your political differences. I think what happened, from what I've been able to infer from both arguments,
Yes.
the fact that the senator felt slighted, that one of the political stalwarts of the governor was the one that came to tell him to stand up, not the protocol officer, because he kept on, the Senator Basiru kept on calling that one an irritant. And the words we use on ourselves, how will you be calling somebody an irritant? And how are we going to build, how are we building a society where we don't even have respect for and decorum for the house of God? They said the police should investigate whatever it should do, but nobody should be high-handed. There were calls for arrest of the senator. Nobody should be high-handed and arrested. In fact, both of them should single-handedly apologize to the Muslim community all over the world and in Nigeria in general for going to the house of God and turning this way a slugfest. But most important, let us keep the peace. This is not needed. If you are going there to fraternize and pray in the house of God, and your seat is not in the front, humility permits you to go and sit down somewhere else, as long as you pray. What is all of this madness about this transient position we do so much in life and this internal sacrifice we've created in our lives? Whatever is worse, both parties must take the blame. Both parties must stop all of this. We now carry politics into the house of God. I heard the spokesman on television saying the senator taunting him is because we beat you in the election. What is all of that? And you have to carry that to the house of God? I know there's a protocol lineup and all of that. I know there's an advanced party with every governor. But can we really keep all of that out of the house of God, please? Can we keep all of that out of the sacred Muslim praying ground, please?
You know that the Kwara State governor, it was seen praying at the back. It was a humble man. That was a show of humility. He was just praying in one corner there.
I mean,
I think they should.
We've carried this position and every madness so much, and we take it into the house of God. We take it into the house of God. So don't even have respect for God any longer.
It's a reflection of what's happening in society. It's a reflection. Whatever you see is a reflection of what's happening in our society, even in our churches, in our homes, where there's a reflection of what's going on.
Come and sit down in the front, and please, pastors, imam, and people generally to stop over this pampering this what's it called politically. Let's call it spade a spade. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Let's build a society that respects God. It's everything we politicize. Even worship to God, we have politicized it. That's how we brought the house of God into politics. That's how some pastors became soothsayers and prophets of doom. And many things God will tell us we didn't ask us. We should be careful.
This is God matter.
Yes, so
this is
be
God.
careful.
This is God matter. And I think one of the imam has told our politicians to please, they should fear God. They should fear God. Fear God.
Both parties should take the blame. Both parties take the blame. All the dramatic personnel that went to desecrate the house of God, whatever it is might be, you should not have a case like that there was rancor in the house of God.
Thank you, Rufai. We need to go pay some bills. When we come back, the phone lines will be open. I really appreciate you this morning, especially for the subsidy removal talk that you were able to clear out.
Yeah,
thank you.
Some people are, you see, and that's why in our public